Good afternoon to all. I'm Marco Lala from Iveco, and during this presentation we will introduce for sure our company, and then we will present how we implemented the servitization project with a quick overview on the process, looking the benefits from a business point of view in terms of process, and also from IT point of view in terms of simplification and integration of the system. We will also see how we used the configurator, the Configit, and how it simplified our activity in our servitization journey, with a focus on the architecture, and the last step will be a final demo on the tool. Okay. A quick introduction about Iveco. Iveco Group is a company that, let me say, started this activity more than 100 years ago, and during the years, with different acquisition and merging, we increased the number of brands covering multiple type of vehicle, till our last action in terms of company, the 2022, when Iveco Group was created in terms of company with a split from CNH businesses, so tractor and construction equipment. As said, during the year we did a lot of acquisition and merging in order to cover different brands and different needs of our customer. So now the brands that are part of this Iveco Group company contains commercial vehicles, so light and heavy duty, powertrain technology, so engine, defense vehicle, construction vehicle, firefighting, and last but not least, the financial services area. So in order to have a full coverage of this part of the market share. We are also a global company, so it means that we are distributed in different regions for sure. The Iveco Group company is the main business on Europe, but also in the other region we have business. So it means that our software and our process must not be tailored only for a specific region, but need to cover different purposes, different business needs on all the different regions that we need to cover. And we will see also in the servitization project where, with a simplification of the system for sure, that then Gianluca will present in detail, this required that different process that maybe runs on different market with this project were simplified and merged in order to have one single system that sell services to our customer. So after that, I don't know, Gianluca, if you want to continue to the presentation where we will see the detail of the different system.
Okay, thank you. So today we are not going to discuss about configuration of a physical product. So we work in the aftermarket area. So we use the configuration to quote services. So let's talk about the project that we are running. So now it's almost has been launched a couple of years ago. It was called the Horizon project. Now it's named the Servitization project. It was aimed to review the full end-to-end process of defining, selling, quoting, servicing within Iveco Group. Of course, the aim was to cover different segments. So we cover both truck, bus, and powertrain, different region. So Europe, ANZ, MEA, Asia, and South Africa. All the type of vehicles. So of course we do not sell only new vehicles, we also sell used vehicles, so what we call pre-owned vehicles. And of course, and then we'll go into more details, so different type of services. So the not connected one, which are the most traditional one which everybody knows, so like maintenance services, repair services, extended warranty services. And the connected one, that thanks to of course, the technologies, the technical, the telematic box installed into the vehicles, then we are able to sell to our customer. So, what was the main challenges that we have faced inside the project? Of course, the main one was to deal with complexity. Not only complexity in terms of product offering, complexity in terms of organization as well. So, and we'll see later in the next slide, the process to define and sell a service is very complex. Deal with different departments altogether. And when we define a new tool that will allow to sell this and to quote these services, we need to think about the requirements and the needs of every single department involved in the process. The other initiatives led by the Iveco Group, so we are in the customer service area, we drive the Horizon project for services, but of course we have parallel initiative in the CRM and CPQ area. Of course, the CPQ I will show you in a minute. We have a dedicated CPQ for vehicles, which is different from what we are doing with the services. Of course, we are implementing a new CRM system. We are improving our digital services and digital offering and whatever is related to a connected vehicle. Of course, from an IT perspective, we need to make sure that we define and we choose the best technology that we have on the market that can suit all these needs. And talking about change management, we need to make sure that we have a clear transformation roadmap and a clear governance operating model. Because of course, we are not talking about only IT transformation or IT innovation. Here, the aim of the project was really to review as well the process behind and the people involved in the process. So let's talk about a bit more of on the process steps. So the process to define and sell a service is a bit complex. I will just go through it and then explain a bit more when we talk about stream 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the process starts with the service offering. Of course, service offerings is deal with the service solutions. It's a market department where define what kind of service we need to sell, what are the needs on the market to be fulfilled, what are the applicability of the service, so in which kind of vehicle I can sell this kind of services, the regions where I can sell it, and so on. Then we'll go to the definition of the technical cost. It's the second step. Of course, when we talk about the product is just a sum of every single, how can I say, component of the product. When you talk about service, here there is a statistical calculation behind to define the right cost based on the historical data, based on the failure of the vehicle, what will be the technical cost of a specific maintenance service or a specific repair services. Maintenance is a bit more straightforward because we have planned stop. For repair, it's all based on statistical calculation. Then, of course, from the technical cost, we need to find the right price, either the ad hoc pricing, so like just the basic example, starting from the cost, I'll add the margin, or the price list management. So, of course, I can, I don't know, offer a marketing campaign to improve the selling of my repair services. Then we'll come to the quotation management. So I've defined the service, defined the cost, defined the price. Let's go and quote my service. Of course, the quotation involves multiple components, multiple input information, like the type of vehicle. We are talking about a light vehicle, a medium vehicle, a heavy vehicle. We are talking about, I don't know, to give you an example, a mechanical gearbox or a pneumatic gearbox. We are talking about, depending on how many axles we'll have on the track. So there are multiple components and multiple factors that can influence the quotation of a specific service. Then, as soon as we quote the services, we need to transform into a contract. And of course, we have to manage the contract. So usually, the duration of a contract into repair and maintenance or extended warranty is from 3, 4, 5 years. So we have 5 years to manage the different contract life cycle. And then, of course, we have, at the end, the finance integration. So not only the billable item, so the possibility, of course, to invoice our customer, as well as to do the fund adjustment. For those of you who are familiar, dealing with services which has a risk behind with some legal restriction that we need to do some accrual to make sure we cover the future cost that we foreseen, and so on. So this is all the servitization process. In parallel, you see on the bottom the different other initiatives that we'll talk about. So on the connected service area, of course, we have our IVECO On is our customer portal. It's on the internet. It's where each one has a connected vehicle, can go in and look at the data of the vehicle, run report, and so on. On the sales, vehicle sales, then we have the parallel initiative on the CLM CPQs that we launched a couple of years ago to review also this process. So we decided, because of, as you can see, behind each of these process steps, there will be probably 1, 2, or more departments involved. So we decided to split the project into multiple streams, what we see here. So stream 1 and 2 deal with product behavior and the definition of the technical cost. Stream 3 deal with all the financial integration, fund accrual, IFRS 15 accrual, and so on. And then we have stream 4, which is in the dark blue. We deal with the service offering and the quotation. Let's see where, I give you a bit more insight on the technical architecture of what we have built. I will go quickly through it just to give time to the demo at the end. So where the configurator comes into a picture when we talk about the services. We have 2 different moments. So the service master data definition. In our case, for Iveco Group, we decided to have the service master data implemented in SAP. So we built a specific instance of SAP. It's called SAP BRIM, so Billing and Revenue Innovation Management, that allow us to define the service master data. So basically, I was saying the configuration constraint, the characteristic related to the services, the geography where the service I can sell, and so on. The type of customer as well, where I can, to whom I can sell this service. And then define all the constraints and rules that needs to go together. All these service master data, rules, and policy are then extracted by Configit engine and elaborated and prepared to be used during the quotation process. The second step, of course, is the quotation itself. So starting from certain data, we developed a specific front end. It is not only used by internal Iveco people, but of course, this front end has been developed for our dealers. So our dealers, and in the future, there will also be some idea to have some marketplace in it, so I have final customer to deal and do some quotation for services. Based on the quotation input, vehicle configuration, duration of the contract, kilometers per year that you want to have the coverage for, and so on. Then the configurator layer is called and provide the available service that can be sold for that specific vehicle. Of course, we save this quotation. The quotation is saved in SAP, and then we show the final price. So just to give you a bit more idea, so we decided to use the configurator only to provide the right service selection based on the vehicle inputted into the quotation. Service master data stays in SAP, BRIM, as well as the pricing. So as of now, pricing, it still is in SAP. It's a bit a constraint as of now, if I must say, because of course, it allows you only to know the price at the end of the process. It's just a big challenge that we have nowadays. We were talking about with some of you earlier, that of course you need to first input all the relevant data to have the final pricing. But this is something we are dealing with. So we are talking about SAP, the different process, the different systems involved during the quotation and the service master data definition. So here is just to give you more insight on the front-end part. So what has been developed thanks to CoolShop and is being provided to our customer dealer. So of course, let's start from the front-end side. So we have developed two different portals. One is what we call standalone, and it means that you can input an existing vehicle, or you can input the basic configuration into it and then configure only the service, standalone. The other entry point is what we call DLAP. DLAP is our CPQ system used for vehicles. Of course, what we develop is an iframe integrated with DLAP to have a full end-to-end, starting from a vehicle configuration to the service configuration, and to close the selling of both items, so product and service, together at the same moment. Then, of course, we are integrated with our Azure AD for authentication. The basic role are managed anyway in SAP, so here you just authenticate the user, but then the different roles, if it's a dealer, if it's a market, if it's a headquarter user, then you manage in SAP. We have the AKS cluster that orchestrate everything, and then we have multiple integration with SAP. Unfortunately, we still have multiple instances of SAP depending on where the data comes from. We deal with the document management system. We have an instance in OpenText that allow us to dynamically create a PDF, create a document out of a quotation, out of a contract, or even the price list. So if the dealer wants to print out something, and of course, if the customer wants the quotation print out, or if they want to sign the contract, then they can print it through the OpenText. And then, of course, the AKS is integrated with the Configit and Configit engine, just to ensure we define the right services. So now it's time for the demo. So it's a more exciting part, let me say.
Up to 10 minutes, so we can save some room for the questions. So you can
yes.
break in case.
Any question?
No, but I have an idea, but I don't want to overflow you with this. You spoke about, we spoke previously about complexity.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that this cannot happen as a big bang. We can roll out is something you have to consider.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, just I think it's something it's important for everybody in this room, because I think we had this conversation with most of them.
No, so I noticed the Andrea speech this morning, so where even from our side, we decided at the beginning to start with a big bang approach. So going live with all dealers, all markets, all together. But then we saw that the challenges and the complexity was too high to allow this such an approach. So then now we changed a bit, so we decided to start with the pilot phase, involving few markets and few dealers per market, just to digest, of course, capturing feedback from our dealers to make sure maybe whatever have been developed cover what are their needs, because of course we are Iveco, we are in a tourist center, we are not dealer selling the service directly. And after this pilot phase, we will start the ramp up of the application, which of course it will happen market by market. So we'll start probably with India, Spain, and so on, covering mainly Europe at first, which is our main, I would say, country in terms of volumes and business and so on. And then we'll go with Asia, LATAM, North America, and so on. As well as in terms of business unit, we started with, if you can, talking about complexity, if you think about one thing is to configure a truck. It's a completely different thing to configure a bus, which is a completely different thing than configure the engine. And each business unit has different services, of course, to sell in the aftermarket areas. And we cannot think of a unique system going big bang for all business unit. Each business unit has his own specificities that we need to take into consideration.
Thank you. So maybe via the demo we can have
Okay.
a better grip on this.
So let's start with the demo. This is our IVECO welcome portal. So here I'm in the foot of a dealer. So of course, as IVECO, we sell our service through our dealer. We do not sell directly to our customers. And this is the portal where all the dealer can access the IVECO application. I'll just jump into it. This is our CPQ application for vehicle. What we developed is trying to have a streamlined application, a streamlined process, where I can start from whatever vehicle I choose, and based on the vehicle and the configuration that I select, I can jump into the configurator itself will show me what are the services related to this specific one. So for example, let's try to, in this way, I selected the model, I select a different, for example, optional. So each of these characteristics you'll see influence then the selection of the service afterwards. If you think about, so for example, maintenance services, either I go with, I don't know, just to give you an example, is left drive or right drive, I have different service to be offered. If I have, is depending on the brake type of the brake, I have different maintenance service to be offered to the customer. So depending on which one I selected, then of course I will go quickly through it and save the offer. Select my customer. And I have created my vehicle offering. Now, before the project, so here the next step was for the dealer to open a new system and configure a service. Input it again, some of the configuration information, and provide a service offering. Even the service offering was very basic because, of course, the configurator we were used was Excel, so we cannot manage very complex rules behind. So now I can go in, and we have integrated our tool in iframe inside this application. So I can create a new quotation starting from here based on the configuration of the vehicles. The configurator engine will show me what are the services that are applicable for that specific vehicle. What are the services, and what are as well the duration and the rules and so on. So I can select, for example, the start pack, which is the basic services. We are talking about connected services here. I can simulate, and here we are, my simulation and my quotation. Of course, now this is a simulation. I can create a quotation. I have my quotation for a specific service, depending on the vehicle configuration. Now we are dealing with the quotation. Afterwards, then we'll see how we can convert that into the contract. I wanted just to give you another example. So we saw how the user experience from the dealer's perspective for a selling of integrated vehicle and services. Here, what we have developed is also a standalone solution, as I was saying, to allow, of course, selling and have opportunities also in the aftermarket area. Here, I'll show you some additional information that we use just to calculate the maintenance and repair. So here, it's the same, the user experience is the same. We try to be as much transparent as we can, just to give the impression to the dealer that you will not change in the system. In the back end, there will be, unfortunately, different systems involved, but at least from the user perspective, from the dealer perspective, it seems to have one single system to deal with. Let me add the customer, the vehicle, so I can either select an existing vehicle which brings me all the configuration, or the other way around, I can insert data manually, so I can select basically what are the component and the optional that will impact, influence my services. I can decide to quote one or multiple vehicle and so on. And then as soon as I hit select, then the configurator will show me what are the services that I can sell. So here we have an integrated solution where you can look at either digital services or M&R services. Again, considering what Marco was saying before, this was previously done in multiple systems, different systems with different quotation and different contract also. To manage was very, very different. So here I can select my, so the 3XL, I can select the duration. 3XL is maintenance and repair. It's a bundle that we sell. So I can go and select 60. Okay, create price simulation. But since I have selected a maintenance services, then I've been asked by the configurator to fill in additional information that it's needed to either identify the right maintenance plan to be associated, or, and in addition, also to write price. So just go. So for example, here I have selected 130,000 kilometers. This is not applicable for the service Iveco Top Care for 3 years. So automatically the configurator will remove my selection. Otherwise, I will go on, select everything. So I can select emission. So depending on how it's my usage of the vehicle, if on road, off road, urban, the door-to-door, and so on. The type of outfit, which impacts as well the maintenance plan. The type of, the performance type, and so on. Additional information that might impact the pricing. Simulate, and I have here my quotation. With the services that I've selected, so the bundle is the 3XL Life, which includes maintenance, wear, and full repair. And then I have also selected the Professional Safe Report, which is a connected service. And yeah, I can jump into my quote, and this is my amazing quotation. Okay, this is all what I wanted to show. Then, of course, the process will continue. I can then go and convert into a contract. The contract idea will bill, and so on. But this is basically focusing on the quotation process where, together with, of course, Configit and CoolShop, we developed this tool to allow streamline the process, have an end-to-end process that allow us to manage this kind of quotation. Thank you.
Good, thank you. Any question for those gentlemen? Benedetta, is your chance. No, just stay there. No, I think that the demo is exactly the road where complexity meets customer experience in order to solve some issues you might find along your path. So, same question that I had for Andrea, for you both. Which are the challenges that you were not expecting? Because we have crossed path in Iveco a few times.
The challenge we are not expecting.
You were not expecting when you started the project, and now you're leaving.
You want to go first? Or?
Yeah, maybe the complexity of integration. Because let me say, having, as said before, multiple systems, so multiple systems created in different periods with different business processes, merge them in one single process that need to be, let me say, harmonized and work all together was one of the big complexity. Also because in the years we created the main process and the exceptions. And the complexity was not on the basics, but in all, maybe one case that is a code doesn't fit correctly with the remaining part of the process and of the technical system.
And I think you're not the only one in this room.
It's the standard.
No, yes, I think if I may add,
yeah.
So it's a bit hard to trying to share the business value from the demo and so on without knowing what is the background of it. So what are the current system, the current processes we are dealing with to manage these steps and so on. Today it's really fragmented. We have a system for the connected services. We have another system for the maintenance and repair. They are completely separated. There is no one unique tool that allow us to quote everything. Even the service offering is very limited because it's not integrated with any configuration at all, any configurator at all. It's managed on simple rule and so on. But to give you some examples, so as of now, we are in the digitalized world. We had one single telematic box that could be installed on the vehicle. And it was an option for the customer to select or not during the configuration of the vehicle. We could have sold the service only as soon as the vehicle was produced, because we know then there was a telematic box on the vehicle and we could sell the service. Now we have different type of telematic box, and depending on the type of the telematic box, the service that we can offer are really different. And having this integrated with the vehicle configuration is a way to reach the customer as soon as possible, earlier than what was done before. So it's a bit, and that was the complexity, because of course, coming from multiple systems into all-in-one, it's not something very easy.
That's where the rollout will help.
Yes, yes, yes.